Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members. I want to rise first as a legislator, rather a policymaker, because right now I want to share some ideas and some personal experiences and certainly some emotion with you today. SB 12 is bad policy. It has far-reaching unintended consequences. In fact, this is materially worse than the version that we passed out of this body originally. And I want to let you know that this is I think the fifth anti-LGBT bill that we passed out of this body this session. And I promise you, your constituents, doesn't matter how bad the policy is, this is not what they signed up for either. GSA's, Gay Straight Alliances, GLAAD, Pride Club. I don't know what you all think happens in these places, but for them to be described as sex clubs is astonishing to me. Absolutely astonishing to me. It equates a child's orientation or identity with sex. And let me tell you, these clubs are no more about sex than 4-H or ROTC or the basketball team or anything else that goes on in a high school campus. This is a place where kids come together. Maybe they're a little bit different. Maybe they don't know who they are yet. Maybe they're just trying to figure it out. But it's a place that's safe. When I was on the school board, now over 20 years ago, we had just implemented a policy in Dallas Independent School District to prevent bullying of LGBT youth because they were getting their asses kicked in school. They were getting harassed. They were getting called names. And pride clubs arose not because of sex, but because it was a safe place for these kids to be with peers who kind of felt the same way as they did, or just to be an ally to people who were being bullied. I'm going to speak personally next as a father, because this bill is not about parental rights in my case. My daughter was the vice president of her Pride Club. I should call it Proud Club. You know what they did in that club? It wasn't a sex club. They'd get together and they'd watch movies. They'd color. They'd go to musicals. It was about a kid who felt weird, who found her people. And everything about it was good. And I don't know why grown-ups in this body are so triggered by that. Are triggered with my daughter getting together with her classmates in a school-sponsored activity. Like, why is that so bad? Why is that wrong? Why does the state government want to prohibit that? It's shocking to me that grown-ups want to take that opportunity away from kids. The chairman said he hadn't heard, he did not recall of any testimony, in his committee, that these clubs were a problem. Yet we're about to ban them today. And that's wrong, members. You didn't sign up for that either. This is cruelty, ladies and gentlemen. Bills like this that target LGBT youth and say you cannot meet together with a school sponsor and have activities together because we think that's wrong. We think it's a sex club. That's cruel, ladies and gentlemen. I think that's wrong. And I don't know how many times you want to point to these kids as the other, as outcasts, as weird, as different. But every time you pass one of these bills, it sends a signal from the state government that, boy, you guys getting together was so important and so triggered us that we're going to ban your club. And even if your parents want you to go to the club, we're going to say, the government's going to say no. We're going to say, no, you can't do that. I just think that's wrong, members. That is very, very wrong by this body. I also think the unintended consequences of this bill, and I was reading it earlier, because in addition to being vice president of Proud Club, my daughter was also a Girl Scout. And she got the Gold Award, which is the highest award you can get as a Girl Scout. And I'm proud of her for that. But that too is a gender club with a social purpose. And even though the author suggested that that might be exempted from the bill, if you read the plain language of the bill, I think that's probably covered too. Of course, it won't be enforced. It'll only be enforced against the queer kids. But I think the plain language of the bill also would prohibit my daughter's Girl Scout troop at a high school campus, at her high school campus. I'm very proud of her, if you can't tell. So members, oftentimes, when we are not doing so good, or when members have a health scare, or their spouse gets sick, we stand around them. We say, hey, I want to make sure you're okay. And we should do so on a bipartisan basis. Well, I want to tell you, for me and my family, I'm not okay. And this bill is not okay. And this legislature doing it is not okay. And with that, members, I close.